circles running around. Break down, chase the light. We're rolling but on the go. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Head high, we're alone. Are we taking all in front of us? Head high, how could we know it was all along on the side? We should read between the lines and we're on the right way to go. Head high, we're not alone. Oh, we are not out of luck. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running wild, I'm running for my life.
All right, guys, what is going on? What is happening? It is. Oh, we got the wrong shit up there. There we go. There we go. The wrong trim. I knew something was wrong. I couldn't figure out what it was. It's always when you get in front of people. You know what I mean? That's when it's like, oh shit. But what's good, everyone? What is Gucci gang? I'm just gonna turn on the music for myself for today. Today's been pretty wonky, I'll be honest. And I'll talk about what I did. Oh my god. We can't start that shit already. We can't start that bullshit already. We're like 2 minutes in. The computer's already getting jacked up. But if you guys can hear me, if you guys are ready to go, drop a like on the video so I know. So that way I know. But what's good, Ali? And it's the afternoon for me now, but it was the morning. I woke up this morning, you know. Woke up like Marcus Aurelius said, get the fuck out of bed. You know, it's good. Miguel, Trillionaire, Smith, Kateria, Nikki, what's good? Z Money, what's poppin'? Always putting us first. I appreciate you. Oh yeah, you will always come first. That will never change. Never. Never. I will fucking jump off a building before that happens. What's good, Mr. John? Vadu Lewis. What's poppin', everyone? Dude, no shit. We had our biggest day yesterday, and I didn't even promote for memberships, but we still got our biggest day yesterday. We had 7 people join. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? So how is that? How is that you don't promote, but you get members, man? That just means y'all are awesome and y'all are hungry to learn and have fun and build a community, bro. Same reason my book went #1 and I ran no ads and did almost no promotion. It's because of you guys, not because of me. Not because of me. So, you know, always congratulate yourself because this is a team effort. Power to the people, you know what I mean? Power to the people. I could probably start a political rally, huh? Power to the people. But we're not going to do all that bullshit. But yeah, the markets were janky, but let me tell you what I did, okay? At least for the S&P. So 41, okay? That was equal highs here. And I showed my team this already, but I want to show you guys as well. So I'm like, okay, that'll be on the table for this afternoon, right? I mean, when we consolidate, I'm like, okay, we'll probably just get that in the afternoon. But it was, I can't remember. It was this right here. And I have the markups. I'll show you in a second, but they are hidden for right now. What's good, Nicholas? There's a 2-minute imbalance here. So I took that. We instantly rallied. I'm like, okay, great. And then we come down and we do nothing. Sat through this too. Then we rallied up to 41.40. Okay. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, we're only like 1 point and 1 tick away. So I go break even. Market says, well, nope. I'm going to grab that. So it comes down, breaks me even, and then now runs up at 11:40, so near the end of the lunch hour. So that's always nice, being broken even just to see the market go your direction, you know? So to be fair, this is sloppy though. I mean, this is, look at this. It spends so much time on a 2-minute chart, so much time in there, you know? I almost ripped my fucking beard off trying to sit through this. Like, is it going to go our way? Oh, no. Is it going to go our way? Oh, no. I'm like, damn, bro. Come on. Come on. Betrayal of the highest degree. So, that's all right. Now, I saw this in lunch as well. Now, at 11:22, I was actually outside. There was some trash actually in the lake. And I couldn't stand to see that. So, I had to go take care of it. There's a fucking baseball and a Ziploc bag and a cup in the lake. I'm like, fuck. So I went to get all that shit out of the lake, you know what I mean? But I looked at this on my phone, and there might even be a 5-minute here as well. Yeah. The 5-minute right here. So we hit that and reacted. I'm like, oh shit, now we're going to run for this level. And we spent a little bit of time there, but then we jammed up. I'm like, all right, that sucks. So what do you do with that information? Well, if you take a look at NASDAQ, okay, the NASDAQ is flying. I highlighted earlier to see if we were going to take the 13.5 level that we talked about yesterday on YouTube, that if this was going to be like a potential run to go lower. And it offered like a small trade in here. I mean, there's an imbalance right here, and it ran to another imbalance. I mean, that could have been a scalp, but price obliterated to the upside. But watch this. Watch this. So you see how NASDAQ is up, right? Dow. Down. Big time. So there's a huge disparity. Okay? There's a huge disparity. Dow is down 0.6%. NASDAQ is up 0.6%. And the S&P is slightly down 0.25%. So NASDAQ leading, Dow lagging, S&P kind of in the middle. So today is gross. Okay, today is gross. But yeah, so this ended up obviously not being a reversal. So we'll just take that off of here. But if the NASDAQ is going to come down for trailing stops, there's easy lows. right in there. And then as a matter of fact, I think we just printed highs actually as well. So, eesh, what a rough day. What a rough day. I was hoping today would be better, and it doesn't look that way. Story of my life, yeah. Holding for the fractal high above. Oh, nice. That's good. You know, some days you get chopped, and some days you do the chopping. You know what I mean? So that's good. If you are, like, if I was still long from in here, this would be a good TP, and then I thought about wanting to hold up for this high because ES did not hit that. Like this high over here, let me see this. So micro ran London's high. E-mini didn't. So I'm thinking if E-mini is going to do that, that would also drag micro. So that was the plan going into it. I was like, yeah, I'll take partials here and then I'll hold for that. But now that I'm not in a trade, I don't really care what it does. But yeah, today is, I mean, we've been in about a 10 or 12 point range so far. So it's gross. It's gross. US 30 took the Friday low and yesterday low. SPX didn't. Right. But even with Dow, because I think that's the low that I have here. Well, Friday's low actually. So Monday's low is here. Friday's low is lower. So just like with the S&P, sometimes I'll highlight down in here to show you guys. But look at the reaction. I mean, it's really not trading all that much higher. So is that really bullish, you know? Markets are not symmetrical. No, they're not. Trillionaire got a good intro on NASDAQ. That's good. Tried to short NASDAQ, but ended up closing the position on demo. Yeah. Well, NASDAQ's our leader today anyway. So I know a lot of people were looking to short NASDAQ earlier. I mean, even, you know, myself was looking for that, but that got given up, you know, very quickly. So, you know, it'd be like that. But for all the people who shorted NASDAQ, that was a goober move. That was a goober decision. Shorting the leader. Only goobers do that. But it's okay. I've done a lot of goober things. A lot. So hopefully you can appreciate that. Someone, I think, did someone ask about FX? What do you think about the Forex? Okay, so Smith did. That's what I thought. I overlooked that. So here's our drawing from yesterday. I haven't moved it. So what do we expect? When we drew this out, run above 25.40 and then a mitigation, right? So tell me why we got to run above 25.40 and then we got a mitigation. Now, granted, it traded through that up here, but still has traded lower. That's the same drawing from yesterday. That has not moved. That's in the recording too. So funny, it always works out for him. If I don't take the trade because of NASDAQ being the leader, then I started trusting him and it has never worked out for me. Look, I don't know if you're talking about Casper, but Casper's a good guy. But always trust your own analysis. I go break even fast. Super fast, okay? Because I don't like staying wrong. Number one, it takes up mental capital. And then number two, if the market doesn't go your direction within a quick amount of time, I've learned that if it doesn't, then you're usually going to be wrong. Then you're usually going to be wrong. Okay? That whole, hey, it's either going to hit stop or TP, okay? I don't do that. That's just not who I am, Okay. Now that saves you a lot of trouble, but yeah, sometimes doing that, it will cut your TP as well. So there is a trade-off to that. But cutting losses to me is impeccable money management, like risk management. Okay. So yeah, you might limit your upside accidentally, but you're limiting your downside as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's whatever you want to do. But yeah, let's come back to this real quick, because we talked about that yesterday. We said if we come up in possible mitigation, so that was there. It did offer a little bit, like maybe 20, 25 pips. It comes back up. All it did was fill in a higher imbalance and then continued. So how's that for calling a fucking run and a mitigation before any of this shit printed? Before any of that shit printed. We live in a matrix, bro. And if you don't believe it, go watch yesterday's stream. It's all fucking ones and zeros, bro. We are all in a simulation. Granted, it ain't the prettiest mitigation in the world, because that 15-minute looks like shit, but all it did here was a 15-minute imbalance and a short-term high. But it never ran to this high or this one. And when I taught you guys the mitigation model, I taught you guys that the loosest stop is at the high. It never came up there. Never. So, hey. You shouldn't try to predict price. Okay. You're right. What should they do? Buy your fucking course then? You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. You should react to price. React? Predict, bro. Predict. Which I seen the drawing might not have taken Kiwi. What'd you do on Kiwi? And the Euro as well. Didn't have the same mitigation, but it did form this bull flag up here. And I taught you guys, well, some of you a long time ago, I taught you when retail patterns fail. Okay, bull flags in a bear market is bullshit. Right? What were we outlining yesterday? British pound comes up, maybe they diverge and then rip ass lower. What do we do on the Euro? To be fair, there's Monday's high. Okay, there's Monday's high. We came all the way up here. Let me see. That is a 1 hour imbalance right there. So that's all we did. Short-term high, imbalance above it, formed a bull flag, and then ripped everyone's face off, trying to long that. Right. Right. But we were outlining bear or fucking being bearish yesterday. So if you're bearish and you see a bull flag, you think that bull flag's gonna hold? No. Not always. Imbalance here, and then it actually left equal highs. So that is a little unfortunate, but that's okay. Makes a new low. So there was still 30, 40 pips offered roughly for the Euro. So, you know, they say you can't predict price. You tell them that they're a fucking bonehead. So New Zealand takes Monday's high twice during London this morning. You have a break in market structure there at 545, maybe 550 central. You have an imbalance right there. It does trade lower. Boom. Does come back and then continues lower, but it running stops. I mean, you could almost see that as a mitigation. I don't personally, but the formation is still there. Aussie couldn't do it. It was too weak. So I mean, it still would have been an okay trade, but look at Aussie, it's down 0.6%. New Zealand down 0.18%. So there's a big trend line on SPX 1 hour. Ugh, trend line. Ugh. Yuck. Yuck. I mean, look where we're at, bro. We're in a huge range right now, and we're near the middle of it. That's usually not what you want. Like if we took the drawings off, look at this on a 1 hour. This is gross. This is gross. This actually is our range low, and this would be the high. And there's the camera going bonkers again. So let's fix this. Okay. So look how close we are to that 50%. Let me take that off. Look how close we are to that 50%. So are you really surprised that we've consolidated? It's not clear. You know what I mean? Yuck. They're a goober. They're a goober. So let's see. So we did a little bit on Aussie and Kiwi. We talked about British pound and the euro. I mean, so that would probably mean dollar higher. Traded into an imbalance from Friday today. So there's a little bit of a justification, but I think we talked about that on British pound, didn't we? Yeah, we still have that markup here. We talked about the 125.73 level in case it got there, but it didn't. Didn't need to. That small time frame mitigation was enough, but that was, again, why did we anticipate that? Because of the daily imbalance here. Top down analysis 101. British pound still has lows at 24.36. We're only at 24.82. So we still got like 50, 45 or whatever. I don't know. We still got downside potential for British pound, and I guess upside for dollar index. So you see how we do that? Oh, what the fuck? Chat disconnected. What the fuck is going on? Are you guys here? Can you drop a 1? Can you drop a 1? I think YouTube is... I think they're sending me some nonsense right now. Disconnected from the chat. Drop a 1 if you can hear me and see the chart. I'm getting real sick of their shit too. I'm sick of everyone's shit this week. I'm getting real sick of everyone's shit. Everyone's making it fucking hard to be a stoic, bro. Our sparring partners, if you will. Like, fuck, man. All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for letting me know. So, anyways, I think Instagram was fucking up too, because it wasn't keeping count with the reels. So, bunch of sparring partners today. Look at this. Look. My Instagram, all my reels have 0 views. What is that? I even updated the app too. I'm about to just fucking take a vacation, bro. I'm about to just leave and just go somewhere, bro. I'm getting real sick, man. Real sick of everyone's shit. So it looks like we're going to trade back below London's low. Those lows right in here. You already know there's going to be stops there, and we're gonna change the color of this one so we can just actually differentiate between those lows and London's low, because them being that close together doesn't look all that great. So we might see a run here, and I mean, if you were bullish, I would say that probably would be a good entry to go long. But the Dow looks like doo-doo. And the NASDAQ, like let's say we were bullish on NASDAQ. Okay. Look at the range that we're going long at. Ghost dropped a 2. I said drop a 1, man drops a 2. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's all good though. It's all love in the chat. So yeah, I want to see how we react from here. Now, if these highs were like, maybe if 41.48 was equal highs, I would definitely long that, probably with a stop here. But since we don't, and that's like 5 points, so that's not bad. But I'm not confident in that, especially with Dow, because these lows don't look very distinctive. So we may end up trading lower. So that's what I have on my other screen. Okay. When I'm watching all three of the indices, that's what I'm looking for. Because actually, you know what? Look at this shit. Euro USD, GBP USD. I am tired. All right. If you look at the lows, let me see, 923 and 943. Look at this, 923 and 943. So study that. Okay, why do you think I was going along on the S&P? Not just the equal highs, but the low had to be set first. So we see a higher low here on NASDAQ. You see that? Okay, so write that down if you're in your notes if you need to. 923 to 943. 23 to 43. That's easy. The S&P, look, 923, 943. So it was lower. So that little spike below that low, and then we run, that to me is a stop run. So that's why this imbalance to me is a long. It spends a lot of time there, comes back into it again, and then runs. So that's why I thought this was the low. And that's where my stop was at, actually, was this low. 29. $29.75. And it never comes back to that low. Okay? So there was your justification, like, oh, stops, ran, then imbalance and ran. But obviously I goofed it up somehow. But this price action is shit, in my opinion. Because it almost never comes back a third time. Because when it comes back a third time, I'm usually wrong. So I don't mind like breaking even and then just admitting, okay, I'm wrong, fuck it. But the market was like, yeah, you're wrong on the timing, but you're still right in the direction. So it's like, okay, middle finger to John Fib, you know what I mean? But the whole point of me showing you that is the justification for why I was trying to long, because that is a stop run. This is accumulation. Okay? So look how we're reacting here across the indices. Look how study how we react here. We filled in this imbalance, took some short-term lows. We're coming back into London's low. You guys already know smart money buys below old lows. That's the theory. Not financial advice at all, but that's the theory. So in theory, if I was bullish today, again, this would be a long for the upside. But I'm not that convinced. You know, that break even just... I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? Did you take partials? I did not. I did not. I was going to take partials at the highs and then see if we got another intraday high. But I broke even on the whole position. So it's how it happens sometimes. I mean, so you could say from a logical standpoint on a small time frame that could be an okay retracement. I mean, that's like right at 50%. That's a little bit less than 50%. So I mean, that's all right. It's not prime, but it's decent. So we'll see. We'll see if we run up to those highs. We can get that. Can you go over gold? Sure. Oh, metals are violently red today. So what's going on there? Silver not giving a strong reaction here below these lows. Gold, the 1969 level. We talked about that yesterday, or maybe the day before, because all of these lows are too clean right here. So with the dollar rallying, it makes sense for gold to also trade lower. There's a little bit of intermarket, but that's like gold and dollar is not my favorite, but that shouldn't be a surprise. And we already knew silver was weaker to begin with, so if gold is going to trade lower, then silver is just going to continue. It's just going to continue that, and that's what you saw. So there's that. On an intraday basis, though, I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. Other than I think that was a Friday. We were here together, you know, looking for stuff, but nothing too wild happened. I think the 1 hour chart ends up being like the most beautiful today, because all these charts today reacted very cleanly off of 1 hour charts. The S&P, or no, British pound or euro, I think reacted off the 1 hour, and then I think S&P did as well. And then here's gold. Here's a 1 hour imbalance there. And again, that's on the higher end of the range. Okay. And when you put the 1969 level on your chart, it makes more sense why that candle here respected that, and then it just has been taken off the last 4 hours. So that's not a surprise. On a super small time frame, though, I think it looks janky. I think it looks janky. I mean, this is out, like the 1 hour looks clean, but then you look at this on a 5-minute basis and it just doesn't look great. Like this doesn't look great at all. I mean, I guess you could say that that's an imbalance here, but look how much time it spent there. A long time. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Silver. So watch this. Gold makes a high at 740. So I'm going with the bodies, not the wick here. I'm going with the body on that. 740. Okay. That 740 high is seen here on silver. So it slightly trades higher at 845. 845 price is right here. So it's lower. It just trades in that imbalance and then takes off. Silver drops down, breaks structure, and then comes back. You have an imbalance here, and that higher high here ends up making this a mitigation for silver. Very clean. So, yeah, John, that's what I'm saying. So that was solid. But again, I don't really look at metals like that to that extent, but that was there was a lot of emphasis to the downside there, and maybe a little bit of time in drawdown. Like if you just shorted right at the imbalance, like if you just shorted like right at the imbalance, you would have spent a little bit of time in drawdown if your stop was at this high. A little bit against you, and then it just screams lower. You know what I mean? I mean, it just screams lower. It is pulling back right now, but depending on where your stop was at, new low, easy partials, London's low, easy partials. You know what I mean? There's if you zoom in, oh, that did look like a lack of wick there for a minute. I can't tell. Okay, there is a wick there. That's just really, I mean, you really got to scrunch the chart to see that. But in like a, if you don't warp the chart though, there is a lack of wick right there. So like if that happens to be your entry there, that same stop, I think that gives you a little bit of a better risk reward. There's your 1 to 3 for the sake of 1 to 3. Right there. And then obviously plus or minus spread, but again, new low here, that's a good partial. New low here, you would have been taking partials like right there. And then the final 1 to 3, if that's your final, is right there. So yeah, that's actually very clean for silver. I would study that. And then gold showing its weakness by not trading above that 740 high, which was again, that 740 high is that 1 hour imbalance. So guys, I'm telling you, okay, there's more people on here now. I am telling you, you want some shit to study this, okay? What are we talking about? Top down analysis, okay? The daily, what we discuss on gold daily time frame, not today, yesterday and possibly last week. What did we study? 1969. That's a downside objective, okay? That is a downside objective. So if we drop down to a 1 hour, you could have that imbalance marked up. You could outright short that, sure. Or you could do what I like to do a lot, is wait for the reaction on the 1 hour. Like, oh, it reacts, it's showing weakness. Relative strength confirms that this is manipulation. Gold is weak. And a lot of the times when there's manipulation, they're going to mitigate. Like price, not they, but price will form, okay, a mitigation setup to trade lower. Why do you think I said yesterday that British pound was likely to set up a mitigation? How do you do that? I mean, it was yesterday afternoon and a mitigation set up in fucking New York the following day. You can expect these types of things is what I'm telling you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Euro or British pound would have did something completely different, but it didn't. It did two things that we thought. Run the high, mitigate. And that's exactly what it did. And then silver did the same shit. Silver did the same shit, only at different times. They're different markers. They're different markets, so they're allowed to do that. They're, you know, it's not going to be like step for step. They're going to operate at different times, but the setups are going to be the same and the context is going to be the same. Why do you think we tell you guys that these concepts are universal? It doesn't matter if you trade gold or silver or euro and British pound or the indices. It's all the same. All of it is the same. So every time those, you know, people on Twitter or whatever, they're like, how do you guys watch so many charts? It's not the sake of watching charts for watching charts. It's more like, how many times can we get the same fucking setup? And it happens everywhere. But some people, they don't get that. They don't understand that. They think that different markets like do completely different things. Now there's going to be like subtlety, like subtle nuances, like slight differences, yeah, you know, but ultimately it's going to be the same. That's why I argue with so many people on Twitter. I was waiting for gold to trade above previous day high and above the liquidity inside a 1 hour mitigation and see there the setup. Marius, okay. But on EU, there was a, I mean, I don't call them fair value gaps. I call them imbalance. It's, why do you need 3 words for a 1 word concept? You know what I mean? So you guys can say whatever you want, but to me, I'm going to say imbalance. I don't like to overcomplicate things. I like to simplify things. Okay. But anyways, imbalance and shift in market structure. And I was long on 1 hour London. You were long on Euro. Oh, they're still lower. We'll come back to that. You said the 1 hour? One hour London session. Oh, London was here today. So we ran up into this imbalance. So this, if you looked at this like an imbalance, no. We already outlined a potentially, well, today I don't think I was bullish on the dollar yesterday, but all I said was British pound had lows on the 4 hour. That can also be seen on the daily. So that's going to be a magnet for price. So if British pound is going to trade lower, then it's likely that Euro is also going to trade lower. So we were not bullish currencies today. We were bearish. And it respected that. I mean, that's a ridiculous wick right there. But then that next hour closes below it. And then we continue lower. So yeah, this was not a long for Euro. Okay. So that's all I got for you on that. And I'm not always right, so don't make it seem like, you know, I'm just trying to tell you what we talked about and why that wasn't the case. So it's not to roast you or anything. It's just I want to help you understand. If I interpret what you did as that, then I want to help correct, you know, why that was a mistake. Okay. So take it as constructive, not like I'm an asshole. I'm not trying to be that. So if we long that down in here, it's barely giving a reaction. So this may not end up being a little whoop-de-whoop. So we'll have to wait. Dow Jones. So it does look like we are gonna swipe that. Because we already took the 1030. We might as well take the 915. Those 2 lows here. So we'll see how that ends up if we end up doing that. So here's the thing. We're going to put an alert here. Because if we start trading lower below this morning's low, because we're way below London. If we trade below this morning's low for Dow, but the S&P is not doing it, it means that we might be under accumulation for S&P. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, those lows equivalent are down here and the S&P has not done that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to mark this up as well just to see. But it doesn't look like. So the bodies have respected that to a degree. I mean, shit, that's hard to tell. That is hard to tell. The high is 41.34.5. The close here is 41.33.70, or the low, the close, damn it. 41.34.5. Okay, so it does, yeah, that imbalance technically is respected. At least as of this moment. We're gonna throw that to the back so it doesn't take up a lot of space, or like, so it doesn't distract from everything else. S&P sell this morning session. Oh, nice. I think, yeah, I think a lot of people shorted early in the morning. I was not up early in the morning. I wake up like right at the opening bell, maybe like a little bit before. So I probably should fix that. At least for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we'll have to wait and see. NASDAQ's our leader today, so yeah, that's probably going to be easy. That's probably going to be easy. Pretty nice. Excuse me. Excuse me. So if we trade, let me see. Now, this is going to be super small time frame, but that to me, if we trade above that, not grab the highs, but then come down, this may end up being a mitigation here on a 1 minute time frame. I think it would be better though if we did that inside of the 1 hour, or the 1 o'clock hour. I think that would be ideal. Plus, this looks like an imbalance here too. I mean, it appears to be. You know, I'm never going to tell you that it's guaranteed, because it's not. But it looks that way. There's a little lack of wick right there. So if we break structures to the upside, don't take the highs. If we come down into that, that may be our long, because think about it. Oh shit, look at that. Look at that. The little gap right there. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. You know, that's almost like a sunset right there. Gap below lows. We talked about this being a potential stop run, right? Boom. Boom. Turning points in the marketplace. Live analysis. Live analysis. The NASDAQ is also higher here on a small time frame, whereas the S&P has slightly traded lower. So again, that just shows the continued, potentially continued bullishness for the NASDAQ. But unfortunately, we did not trade above that high. But watch this lack of wick here just to see. But I'm not long in that because it's not forming the imbalance within a mitigation. I would again, I wanted that high to be taken first, and so I don't trust it enough to take that just yet. But we will watch it, so we'll keep that in mind. And then we'll just come back to the S&P for just a minute. Looks pretty all right. Looks pretty all right. What's good, Alex? Oh, surely no. I didn't mean to go over your question. I'm sorry. How do you overlay charts when you buy TradingView? So it's simple. There's a button. I don't think you guys can see this. There is a button at the top left, okay? And it looks like this. It's a circle that has a plus sign in it. Okay, so it looks like that. All right, in the search bar, like the symbol search, to the right of that, there's a circle with the plus sign within that. When you click that, that will bring up this window, the compare symbol window. Now you can search it, but I have a lot in my history. So like if we're looking at the micros and I want to look at the NASDAQ, all I have to do is click one of these. So a new pane will drop it into a new window, or a new pane rather. Okay. I don't usually do that, so I'm going to delete that. What I usually do is I overlap it. So I'll do new price scale. So that way it adds it to the same chart. And then it looks like that. And then from there, if you want to look at candlesticks, you just got to double click it and change it to candlesticks or whatever. And then there you have it. And that's what that looks like. Okay. Oh shit. The NASDAQ. It looks like it hit that down candle here. Right there. But I try to keep like my entry window, I want to keep one chart on. The other charts I'm going to have multiple on. But like the NASDAQ, what I'm saying is it hit this 5-minute down candle right there. So just be mindful of that. And if it was up to me, this shit should fly from here. I could be wrong, but I think that's going to fly. And the Dow didn't want to take the low. So that's always nice. It's always lovely. Okay, but yeah, so there's, I'm going to delete that now. Oh, that was our GAN box. I was trying to figure out what that gray line was right there for the longest time. I forgot we drew a GAN box earlier. So, what other questions you guys got? What other questions do you got? We haven't broken that high yet. But yeah, there's all kind of cool shit you can do on TradingView. Like if you fuck up a drawing, Control Z and you'll undo it. Like watch, I'll control to highlight everything. Not the alert though, I don't want to delete that. Like if I delete everything, right? And I go, oh man, I pressed the wrong button. Control Z brings it all back. It's kind of like in Photoshop, like when you undo something, like undo move or whatever. Or if you guys are familiar with like Canva and Photoshop or some sort of design, it's like an undo. So yeah, Control Z will do that. Know what I'm saying? Could you share the hex code of your red line color, please? It's a comforting red for my eyes, or in general custom color palette. Sure. Although I do want to watch this though. So the red, this red is the, I guess the one, it's more like a pink directly below the black right here. And it's at 100% opacity. Can you see that? Or is my face right there? No, you can see that. So it's that one. So technically it's not red, it's more of a pink. The down candles or up candles, like for institutional candles or whatever, it's this, not the teal, but directly to the left of the teal. In between teal and green. So half teal, half green, I guess. The mitigation is that's actually different. So that's going to be the orange, the default orange at the top, but the opacity, I don't think you can see that. How do we bring this up? The opacity is 45%. So I just do that so it's a little bit light. I want to try and keep everything light. But yeah, all of them are usually the same. Like the color schemes are going to be the same Imbalances are always going to be gray. Boxes, institutional candles are going to be that teal one I showed you. Mitigations are going to be orange, and liquidity is going to be that pink line every time. The only thing that I think would change is purple, which is zeros, 20s, 50s, or 80s. Fib levels are this like the same gray or whatever. And I think that's it as far as color schemes go. Elaborate on COT report and how to use it, especially for the currency market. I don't use COT. I don't use the COT report for currency markets. I really don't look at COT all that often. COT is really long, like time frame trading, and I've tried to use COT in the past. I was never that great at it. It's not really a timing tool either. You know, I know there's books. I think Larry Williams has a book on COT. A lot of people have lessons on COT, but I simply just don't use it. Okay. There's certain things I'm just not good at, and COT is one of them. So, best way I can answer your question. Sorry. I don't know everything. I do not know everything. I wish. EU 1 hour chart has a mitigation where we can short. Today's done for currencies, in my opinion. Today is done. Oh, you're talking about this, right? You're talking about this on a 1 hour? I don't see that. I don't see that. I mean, think about it. You're shorting after a move that has already dropped. Oh shit, that's not even a lot. 30? Is that only 30 pips? The euro hasn't done shit today. I usually just don't want to short that late into a move. I mean, logically, it just you're buying, or excuse me, you're shorting very low, like a low price, and that isn't always very advantageous. So I mean, again, it's totally up to you. I mean, it's you do what you want, but just from like that perspective, I'm not rocking with it. You know, you got to lean with it first before you can rock with it, and if you can't lean, you can't rock. You know what I mean? So you can definitely write that one down. Feel free. Feel free. Can you do a video on your weekend routine to prepare for the trading week? So I don't have like a specific routine for that for the weekend, but I will tell you that Mondays are Mondays are trash day. So what I try to do is take all the trash out. So all the empty water bottles, all of the empty ice bottles, all of the energy drink cans, you know, stuff like, I'm not going to show you my room, but I'm sure you can picture what that would look like. There's only a few. So that all has to go. You know, because you want to start like a Monday, you want to start clean and fresh, you know, new week, fresh room and everything. I'll light a candle to make sure it smells good and everything. And then I probably prepare more mentally than I do physically. You know, I want to make sure I'm in the right mindset. Okay. So it's back into that down candle here. Took a short-term low. We'll have to see what we do, but it looks like it's creeping up that way. So like this move here, I would have wanted before the imbalance. So now that we're like into that to me throws it off a little bit. And again, back to the logic, you know, of why I told you like euro shorts may not be it. I mean, look what price has done already. And if we're trying to long, you know, this is a very high price. You know what I mean? That's why you got to be careful. And you got to be specific, you know, so if the market's not setting up for what you want, then it's not going to do anything. So imagine if we tried to long this right now, or if like we longed it here, it went our way a little bit and then it slams lower. You know, it's like, that's not what you want. That's not what you want. I would still wait to see what it does here, but it didn't give the setup that I demanded it to do, right? I wanted to see price trade to the upside like it wants to go to the highs, form an imbalance within a mitigation, but it doesn't do that, okay? So if it doesn't do that, trying to force something like, oh, fuck it, I'll just take, you know, a down candle, like that's not always advantageous, you know? So if we had long this down candle, we'd be soaking in a little bit of drawdown right now. So if our stop was here, I think, you know, we'll see. We'll see if that low gets taken. I mean, it looks that way though, because it's already trading near the low end of this down candle here. So it might not look good. It might not look good. But we'll wait and see. We'll give it some candles to print. What advice can you give someone new? Well, I don't give financial advice for one, okay? But just in a general sense, for someone who is brand new, I would say don't rush the process. Don't try to rush success. Don't try to, you know, hurry up and succeed. Okay? There's a lot of people who believe in putting a date on success, right? I want to learn how to trade within 6 months, or I want to have X amount of money by this certain date. I don't believe in that. Okay? I think I did maybe at one point, but I don't believe in that, at least not wholeheartedly. So some situations maybe, like if it's something easy to put a date on, like, oh, I'm going to save $100 a month, so in 10 months I want to have $1,000. Like, all right, that's reasonable. But to set a goal on something that is difficult, like trading, for example, you don't want to set a date on that success. Okay? And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree, because the pressure of trying to hurry up and get shit like a funded account or certain growth in a trading account, it will, the pressure that you put on yourself is going to force you to make mistakes. And so you're literally going to manifest the opposite of what you want. You know what I mean? Because you're going to try too hard. And that is a thing. You're going to try too hard. And I don't want that for you. Okay, so we still have that alert on Dow. At, I can't even tell what level that is. We got all this shit mixed up. Let's take that off. We'll keep that low here. The 33,612 or 33,162. But yeah, we'll keep this here because we want to be notified if that happens. If we're elsewhere, like if we're watching other things, we want to be notified of that. So now that this, okay, all the markups in here, since it didn't form a mitigation, the imbalance didn't form where we wanted it to, it's not what we want. So we're going to take that off. This down candle here, completely disrespected. So guess what? We're going to take that off as well. So those highs may just be left there momentarily. But do you see why? Okay? Do you literally, like, dude, I'm trying to tell you, okay? Do you see what we did here? We outlined potential mitigation, potential imbalance. But the very first thing I said, the very first thing was that blue line up here, right? That blue line was, excuse me, we need to trade above that, show that willingness, and then hit the, hit the setup. But we didn't get that. We didn't get that. So we should have not traded anything in there. And then guess what? If our stop was at this low, stopped out. You know what I mean? At the same time, we were also expecting Dow to take the lows. The Dow in here didn't take the low yet. Now it's taken the low. Now do you see why sometimes trading, can be difficult if you're trying to hurry up and take a trade, hurry up and pass a funded challenge and whatever? You're going to try and force shit that's not there. And that's one thing I said when I taught the mitigation model to my students a few weeks ago. I said, you're going to start looking for mitigations and you're going to start seeing them form ahead of time. But if you don't follow the steps, you're going to fuck it up. And that's exactly what would have happened up here. That's exactly what would have happened right here if you thought, oh, it broke structured and like, nope, it didn't do that. There are specified rules to this. And the S&P is lower, back below London's low. It did respect that imbalance here, gave a small reaction, gave it right back up again. Okay, but now, remember what we talked about earlier, there is a possibility that if Dow runs this low, but the S&P doesn't, that could be potential accumulation, because look at that. It's not trading lower the same way that Dow is, right? So that, I don't even know what, we'll just make it black, I guess. So we need to study what happens here. We may end up starting to trade higher from this, okay? Because again, if Dow is manipulating that low, may create the low of the day for the afternoon session, or for the day rather, and then reverse against anyone who's been short all day. Anyone who was short from this morning, if they're still holding on, all right, new low, that's great. But if you hold on too long, you guys know exactly what happens, because you've probably all been there before. I'm going to let the trade go. I'm going to let it run. And it runs against you. That is on purpose, especially with indices, especially with gold. Okay. So if that happens to take place, then I want to be a part of that. So we'll have to see what takes place. Okay. So yeah, again, small time frame, like reactions in here from that gap, but it was just very short lived, and that's okay. That is okay. Make sense? Guys, if you haven't liked the video already, drop a like if you got some value out of today's presentation so far. If you got some value out of today's presentation so far. We're going to go ahead and take this imbalance off too. But we're going to keep this here in case this happens to be the low. It hasn't set a low yet, because it could still trade. Oh my God. I don't know where it cut off at. It hasn't set the low yet. It could still trade a little bit lower. But we're going to keep this here. And we're going to see. Okay. We're at a pretty decent discount as well from the current range of today. Down after all, touch and enter. Okay. Elvis. I appreciate that one. Thank you. Thank you. Wait till tomorrow, New York session. We were going for the low on US 30. Yeah, I think I'm a little late catching up on the chat. Elaborate on structure according to Larry Williams, because I do read his book, but I'm unable to draw it on my charts. I don't really look at structure like that. I am probably the last person you want to ask about structure. The only thing I look for in terms of break of structure is like after a liquidity run or after like a high time frame imbalance or, you know, some shit like that. And then a small time frame break of structure, sure. But I'm, you know, all that like short-term low, long-term low, medium-term low, like all that, bro, I'm not into. I'm not into that. Okay? Again, I don't know everything. And I'm just not the person you want to ask about structure. I'm not the person you want to ask about crypto. Okay? So don't ask me about crypto projects, don't ask me about NFTs, don't ask me about structure. Don't ask me about fucking cross pairs. What else? Someone had mentioned it earlier. I don't know. Whatever it was, I said I'm not good at. Okay, there's quite a few things that I'm not good at. Okay, or at least that I just don't bother with. Structure is one of them. Okay. Again, not to sound like an asshole, but you can't be a superstar like in every single aspect. I mean, you probably could, but that's not who I am. Okay, I'm not going to be a superstar and with every single concept, never get it wrong, you know, all that. That's not me. Okay. So there you have it. There you have it. You guys journal today? It's 1:15 in the afternoon for me, so it is past my time. I did journal actually, and I caught up on the last like 3 or 4 days that I missed. I usually don't journal on the weekend, so Mondays or Tuesdays I'll try and catch up on the weekend. So I do that as well, but I did that earlier before our stream. Before our stream today. Ugh. Disappointing Dow is what we'll call that. How about that? You guys good with that name? Let me look at SPY for just a minute. Dow Jones, yeah, same thing. We do have those same highs are seen on the triple Qs as well. So we may just leave that for tomorrow or another time. But at least they're equal on the future side. Yeah, I'm going to keep it on the S&P, at least for now. Christian asks, how do you usually journal? So a lot of the times it's going to be the daily Stoic journal. So the prompts are there for you. The trading journal is a little bit different. That's more like levels that I'm looking for, or I might outline something like, oh, I'm looking for relative strength, or I'll note like Dow is weak, NASDAQ is under accumulation. I'll write out the levels. Like earlier today, I wrote 41.5 for the S&P as an upside target. And, you know, of course, when we were in this mess, I wrote down, oh my God, we're not doing shit. We need to hurry up and do something because I'm becoming impatient. And then we start to run, like, I think I'm up like 5 or 5.5 points. And I go, okay, I'm break even now because we're starting to run. And then boom, it breaks me even. So then I got to write like, oh, well, fuck. You know, I followed my rules. You know, I waited. It's just the timing was off, and, you know, break even's better than a loss. And then that's it. You know? So it's just a small, let's see. It's just a small notebook. I've shown you before. I'll show you again. It's a notebook. So some days I only have a little bit, and other days like today I have a little bit more. But you can write whatever you want. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to journal. There's probably, better ways to journal, but that's at least how I do it. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, the 15-minute, even the 1 hour as well for the S&P looks so bad. It looks so bad. So anyone who's been holding today, it's been wishy-washy. If you long down here, went up and now it's back down, or if you shorted up here, it came down but then gravitated right back up, near these highs, and now it's lower again. So it's very wishy-washy today. And then given that big ass disparity between Dow and Nasdaq, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. Mentioned earlier that you use bodies of the candles. So again, I don't call it SMT divergence. It's just relative strength. Okay. And for me personally, again, I don't want to overcomplicate concepts. It's just a divergence. Again, 3 names for something that has 1 name, But yes, I use bodies for relative strength. However, the wicks can also tell you if it's a stop run as well. Like this shit at 7:30. We had news this morning. I don't remember what that was. I wasn't up for it, but I know there was USD news here, right? So you see how it runs that? So the bodies, they close lower, but that wick ran this high. So to me, that's a stop run. Okay. So I usually will look at both. And sometimes if it's not clear, you just got to assume that maybe it's not there. Know what I'm saying? It was retail sales. Thank you, Shawanda. Thank you for that clarification. Okay. I was wondering when my music went. I just got it back. It was getting kind of quiet. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, Nafis, that was then, and I do what I do, and everyone else is going to do what they're going to do. Some people overcomplicate things. I don't care for that. But you can use whatever verbiage you want. Names don't matter, context does. So, I mean, you could call a run on equal highs a fucking skiddly doo bop. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. But I'm not trying to impress people with extreme, verbiage and all that. For what? What do we need to do that for? Today's how many you will not take during the week. I have no idea. I have no idea. So again, Dow may not have created our low today. So this may not end up being a stop run at all. Which is why years ago, and now it's on my YouTube channel, that video I did on relative strength, I taught you guys that I look for a divergence to form and then a retracement. I'm not trying to like pick the low or say that this is going to be the low just for the sake of the S&P happens to be higher while the Dow is lower. This doesn't have to be the low. You see what I'm saying? This still can continue lower. I mean, what turning point do you see right here? At least on a 5-minute, I don't see shit. At least not right now. So I would rather see that willingness. Like if we get back above London's low through this imbalance, then yeah, maybe we'll be bullish. But until then, I'm not bullish. Make sense? We're going to take that off as well because we don't need it. Trina's going to hoop. Very nice. Have a good one. Have you read The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler? Funny enough, I actually picked up his book after I released mine. And this was just after mine went #1 on Amazon. I actually hit him up on his website and I was like, "Hey bro, you know, I'm reading your book and it's pretty good so far." And he hit me back and he was like, "Oh, thanks, man. You know, let me know when you finish it or whatever," some shit like that. This was years ago. But it's a pretty good book. I haven't finished it. I started it a couple years ago, but I never finished it. But he's really big on A game, B game, C game type thing. So I think that's part of it. Obviously, I haven't read the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure he gets you to journal your performance. Like, are you performing very well, or are you kind of performing mediocre and all that? So, I mean, I think it's good. I've heard good things, but I can't officially comment on a book that I haven't read. Okay, I'm not like these fucking goobers on Twitter who comment on books they've never read. Okay, I try not to do that. You know what I mean? So, there's that. These glasses are new ones actually. I got green ones too to match the theme, but the green was like not looking good. If you go to the description, I have all the links there. Okay, so right under the stream, you have all the links to everything that I pretty much offer you. I mean, the EDM music, drum and bass favorite, Spotify playlist, Not Safe for Work metal playlist on Spotify, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Letters from a Stoic, Memento Mori. And if you guys buy anything from here, I get a commission, except for the Daily Stoic one. But like the portable ice bath is there, the camo bucket hat is there, the notebook that I just showed you is also here, and then the glasses that I'm wearing right now is right here. The gaming anti-blue light glasses right there. Or it might be this one. The Any Love blue light. Fuck, I don't know which one it is now. Let me take a look. Oh, okay, it's the bottom one actually. It's 24 bucks. So it's the Any Love blue light blocking glasses from Amazon. So if you want to grab a pair, you definitely can. And you can also support the channel at no additional cost to you. Okay, so it doesn't cost you extra, but I will get a commission if you use it. So full disclosure. Full disclosure. Our low has not been set yet. It may not even be our low right now. And if anything, I think we just created lows. Some short-term lows. But yeah, you don't even have to use Amazon. If you want to buy them from a different website, you can. I really don't care. But it's just an easy way. You know, like if you're gonna get something that somebody recommends, right? You might as well just use their link. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all of that's in the description. Everything. The hat, glasses, hell, the microphone. I mean, I don't think you guys are gonna buy this microphone, but because be warned, it's a nice microphone, don't get me wrong, but you got to get an activator because you need phantom power, and then you need an audio interface as well. And each of those are like anywhere from 100 to 200 a piece. So it's a $400 microphone, and then another $300 in equipment, and that doesn't include the 2 cables that you need as well. Those are $25 each. That's another $50 just to plug it all in. So it's going to be like $700-800 altogether. You know, if you want the Shure SM7B. So, but it's still there if you want it. I just happen to like it. Like I saw that Joe Rogan used it. I saw that a lot of people who have podcasts, they use the Shure SM7B. Matter of fact, Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on a Shure SM7B. So that's why I use it, because it's nice. But yeah, you're gonna drop hundreds of dollars for it. That's another thing too, man. You know, when people, if they're trying to decide, you know, like, should they support a creator, guys, if you understood how much fucking money some creators spend on their setups, on just all the shit that they do, the ring lights, the equipment, dude, shit is not cheap. It is not cheap. The ring light that my friend has, she spent like $200 on it. It was like 200 or 250. I'm like, good grief. It's nice though. I'll tell you that. It is nice. I don't even know what that is. I'm just gonna push that to there. $130. We've been consolidating for like 30 minutes. All right, so there we go. And that continued movement lower. So if there's one thing I want you to know, is that there's been no opportunity to long anything yet. Okay, we've been bearish this whole time. Not me personally. I didn't say that I was bearish. I did want us to run to those highs on NASDAQ, but we didn't get the setup that we wanted, so we left it alone. Right? We didn't force anything in there, and we're trading lower. Okay? So we may... There's some... So the lows here earlier, like where I got stopped out at break even, that there may be a pocket of liquidity there too. So it may want to reach for that next. And the Dow probably just continue lower. As far as NASDAQ goes, the only next available trailing stops is probably going to be here. We'll take that old high off. I mean, we know it's there, but Think about it. Anyone who's been long today, they're praying that it doesn't go below that low. Probably have a better reaction during power hour. Well, maybe. The 1 to 2 o'clock hour is still pretty good. It can be. There's a small one imbalance here. 1 minute imbalance right there. We'll see if we can dig into that and trade lower. New 30-minute candle as well. Inside the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock hour. So we'll see if we see a response there or not. Look at that gap though. That gap, it did react a little bit here, but then look how when price traded below it, look at that. It ended up becoming like resistance, I guess you could say. That's just interesting. I wouldn't trade that personally, but I'm just saying for sake of studying price, it's not a bad study right there. Yeah, Sharif, sometimes you don't get an entry. This, I think, would be a late entry for shorts to go lower. I mean, that had to be a scalp, though. If there was a scalping idea, that would probably be one. Let me see. I just want to check the 5-minute time frame. Because technically, we don't have to take that low. We'll have to see. You know what would be interesting, though, is if we end up getting a mitigation set up here in the afternoon to then go higher. That'd be pretty cool. But I'm not entirely sure. This looks like shit on a 1 minute. Ugh. Excuse me. Current bit rate. I don't even know. I don't even know. What else you guys up to today? What else are y'all looking at? I know I focus a lot on indices. What else are you guys taking a look at? I might need a nap. Might need a nap here, folks. 3 hours. Yeah, so the dollar's been trading lower the last 3.5 hours. And the indices also the last 2 hours have been lower. So again, intermarket, not always my favorite. There's probably a lot of things about relative strength that I overlook. I mean, intermarket, excuse me, that I overlook. Fiber clean shorts today in the AM session. UJ Ninja was expecting a down move today, daily imbalance, but did not come there. Yeah, I don't trade the yen that often. I don't know a lot of people who like the yen. So I don't know. I'll take a look at it. What do you say, the daily, right? Oh man. Oh, that post lunch drowsiness. My goodness. It's hitting hard today. Hmm. Oof. Yeah, the yen looks a little sloppy today. News took London's low, rallies, and then there was some retracement opportunities, but what was the upside target supposed to be on that? What was the upside target there? Besides maybe Monday's high. And it also, like, it gives a small retracement like 2 hours ago on a 5-minute time frame, but overall it doesn't look. I think yen's probably my third least favorite behind USD CAD personally. That emoji looks good. What emoji? Ooh, and that one imbalance did not hold. So I wonder if oh my god, we came down and did it again. Another set of equal lows. Dude, the market is printing so many equal lows and equal highs. Oh shit. Oh shit. Let me pull up my other chart. Let me see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I got excited there for a minute. I got excited. I jumped the gun. Never mind. Sorry. I thought we went lower here and maybe higher on one of the others, but we didn't. We did not. Okay. So there is 18 minutes left into the or until the final hour. So let's see if we can outline something. This I think is ridiculous. Equal lows. However, if this wants to trade higher, we may see that. The NASDAQ, so the other two indices, The S&P didn't take the low. Dow obviously swept our lows. So if this is a scenario where the low of the day has been set, then we may see a small intraday reversal. Like we did when I like fake called Jerome Powell. That could be on the table. But the problem is 4130s end up being identical lows for the S&P. So you don't want that. That's not what you want. The only high probability target, I think, would be on the NASDAQ for these highs. And you know what? It might even be one of those days where I feel like, since all of Twitter was wanting to short, I feel like they're still trying to short this market. If I had to take a short, which is goober material anyway, because if you're going to short with equal highs, I just am not entirely comfortable with that. Then I would probably take something like this. But again, why am I going to short when there's equal highs here? That doesn't make sense to me. And NASDAQ is our leader. So that's like two reasons why I would not short this to go lower. If anything, I may watch that. But I don't think I'm going to take anything today. I think I'm just going to leave today alone. Oh yeah, Rudy, yeah, you were one of the 7 people yesterday who subscribed. Well, to the membership. Yeah. That was our best day yesterday. And I didn't even promote. So, just goes to show, man, that if people want something, they'll go get it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And no, Sultan, I didn't catch anything today. Nothing today. I got to break even here earlier on the S&P. That was dog shit. Not dog shit. I mean, break even's better than a loss, but today was not a super fun day. I'm going to take this off now too, in this gap as well. So yeah, again, just to reiterate, it's hard for me to frame a high probability short with this imbalance, given that we have equal highs up here and that NASDAQ is our leading index today. So that's probably the last one that I would want to short. I think the S&P would have a better opportunity, but it was clear to me earlier that I was out of sync with it. And our current range of today, at least of the stock exchange, from this high to this low, we're very, very close to 50% as well. So it just may not be ideal. It's not at an extreme of the current range of the day, of the stock exchange at least, because 830 is here. Right here. So our opening price is right there too. So we would be shorting below opening price. And I'm not with that. Raise a prop firm account? No. No. Although I probably should. I probably should. But I'm not going to advocate for any prop firm. So, I mean, if I ever do, you'll never know. But I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt right now, I do not. I do not. All right, so if we have a downside, potential downside target for the S&P, but we also have an upside target for the NASDAQ, what is that? What do you do with that? What do you do with that? So again, for those of you that hopped on here a little bit late, I'm not looking at this imbalance as a short. It could just fucking fall over. But me personally, I do not like to short when there are equal highs in the marketplace. So for that reason, I'm not shorting. Even if this turns here, I'm not doing it. And then S&P has just been very sideways, very choppy. And even though I think this is a decent time window, I don't like it. I don't like it. Is there any reason why you don't use a John Fib indicator? I do. I mean, I have it. I don't entirely use it every day, but I use it to teach with it. I teach with it. The logic of opening price is what my most recent reel was about. I'm actually trying to find someone who can code indicators because I want to make some more, but I don't know anybody who codes them that doesn't charge fucking ridiculous amount of money. Know what I'm saying? What are the best times to trade German 30 and also during New York? Oh, fuck. I don't know. I've never traded the German 30 before. I would assume during their stock exchange, whenever that is. I don't even know when that is. But I would, if I had to trade that, I would use the same logic. Opening price and then looking for longs below the open or looking for shorts above the open and top-down analysis and everything else. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Let me look at a 1 minute. 150. So there's your 2 o'clock to 3. So let's see if we can do something. $13,555. Interesting level there. Code yourself with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is fucking dog shit. It writes code, but there's always errors and it doesn't fix the errors. I've already tried that. So ChatGPT, it can, but you have to manually fix things. It's just like with text. It'll write you whatever. It'll write you an email. It'll write you a post or a tweet or whatever, but you got to correct the grammar and the spelling. Not so much spelling, but you got to correct the grammar and stuff like that. So ChatGPT is great, but it's not something to rely on to that extent. Trust me, I tried it for like Pine Script. I was like, write a Pine Script code that draws a horizontal line, or a vertical line or whatever, and it sucked. So again, this imbalance, that should not be a short. If we're bullish, we should see price trade above that. Okay. Does that make sense? The Dow is back above Friday's high. How long have you traded currency markets in the past? I started trading Forex, I think, in 2015. Do you use the paid version of ChatGPT? No. But I have a plugin that uses the search engine. So I don't get answers directly from ChatGPT. It'll utilize web resources. Like for last night, the call I did last night about Stoicism and Stoic philosophy, the document that I read to you guys from, that was written with ChatGPT. Now I fixed a couple things and reworded a couple things, but ultimately it was written with that. Make sense? But no, I don't use the paid version of that. Oh man, we've been here for 2 hours. Sometimes you just gotta stretch. See, look at that. Look at that. It pushes right through that imbalance. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? I'm trying to see if there's like a clean chart that has something a little bit more clear on it. So we're coming up on the hour close. Okay. We have 4.5 minutes. This hour will close. That 5-minute candle will close. If it closes like bullishly, an up close, this may end up being an imbalance to go higher. Oh man, excuse me. But again, understand that idea, it would be a scalping idea. I mean, you're buying very close to the current high of the day. So if I'm going to do something like that, it's like small risk, you know, scalping idea, not something that I would hold for a long period of time. Because the idea is to buy low and sell high, right? And if you're buying high, it has to go higher. You know what I mean? So not that I'm trying to draw it before it forms, but I'm just trying to give you my thought process. Okay. So if the final hour, if it does rip to the upside, it may come down first. So like open the hour, drop down into the imbalance, and then send that bitch higher. Like that is what I'm thinking it might do. Even though it didn't take that low, which is disappointing. Okay. That imbalance here. Oh my God. That imbalance here, even though we have equal lows, it was disrespected. Dow is coming off of that run below this morning's low currently. Okay. But we'll have to see how this closes because it's not looking too much like it's going to do what I thought. Have you been to Dubai? No, I have not. I looked at the ETFs earlier, Shawanda. But today's mixed. Today's fucking mixed out the ass. Any advice for swing trading? Higher time frame bias probably. And holding your trades. Like actually holding positions. That's hard for some people. I am some people. Okay. It's shit. It's difficult sometimes. Traders are mostly young, 80% below 20 myself too. Well, yeah, because trading FX markets, I think, really blew up the last 3 to 4 years, especially when there was like the lockdowns and stuff. People hopped on the internet and that's all people saw was, oh, get rich fucking quick with Forex, and everybody became a mentor, and you know, everybody started launching courses and all that shit. Even though they hated me for my book 2 years ago, they were like, oh, fuck your book. And then now everyone's launching courses. Same people who were hating on my $40 book, $36 book, are now making $200 courses. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? They always hate you for what they love you for. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not that I want to start a no shit today, because I felt like we had enough of that yesterday. Yesterday was enough. Yesterday was enough bullshit. All right. So we didn't get that imbalance here. The only one that we have is down here, and that's also this down candle. So that might be a possibility. What I'm going to do is simultaneously watch the indices with the exclusion of the Dow. I don't like the Dow today. It looks like doo-doo. But this, again, and for those of you that hopped on late, welcome. But 13.5 is like a morning session, not the morning session low, but a morning session low, because our afternoon is here. Our afternoon is there. So we did drop down, but we didn't take this low. That low here is also seen with equal lows on the S&P. So that might not be good for longs, at least. Because if the S&P, let's say it does happen to just crumble lower, it would have to go through that imbalance and then this down candle here, right? And that's okay. If the NASDAQ gets dragged with it, we could end up below that low. So if it were me, something I think with minimal risk, again, as always, not financial advice, not trade advice or anything like that. I think it'd be a little hard to frame a 1 to 3 as well. Unless you really, really had a tight stop here. I mean, a 1 to 3 would have to be like that. I mean, well, if you target it a little bit above the imbalance, maybe. Or equal high, sorry. Like that might be a 1 to 3, but that's tight. Because you're basically saying that we're not gonna trade below the imbalance at all. Like we're just gonna kind of dip our toes in and then fly. So that may not always be the case. And there's a smaller time frame. Let's see, 524. Let me look at one thing. Oh no, that's lower. All right. So we're 3 minutes into the new hour. The final hour of the day. Anyone who's been trying to short NASDAQ has been getting ripped a new one, if you know what I'm saying. And I think some people may look at this like, oh, break of structure to the downside, downtrend on like a 1 minute. I'm thinking everyone's still trying to short. And for that reason, I think it's going to trade higher. I think it will trade higher. Dow Jones, massively, massively lower. Big yikes there. I mean, dude, Dow is down 0.7%. NASDAQ is up 0.5%. That's a huge disparity. Like, that's massive. And the S&P, not sideways all day, but it has a very low range today. So it could happen. So we'll have to see. After 11 a.m., I just trade with the trend mostly. I usually try to look for reversals. I'm a reversals kind of guy. I like liquidity being swept and then a reversal in the opposite direction. Aiming for some sort of equal highs or equal lows. Like that's what I like doing. Like stuff like this. But again, I think I explained this yesterday. I prefer when trading an imbalance like this, like a down candle, because I don't really see a mitigation here. Not at least not on the 5 minute to that extent. But like I would feel better with that trade if this wick had traded down there. Like if we were able to draw that. I don't know what color I use, but something like that I would feel better about longing. But because the S&P has lows, again, I'll explain this one more time. Because the S&P has equal lows, that may or may not drag down the NASDAQ with it. So if this idea were to be stopped out, I think that would be why. Okay? Didn't you tell us a long time ago that the bigger the time frame, the bigger the move? So since indices are diverging on the daily, when they come back in line, it would be a massive move. I mean, not necessarily, but the Dow still has triple highs on the daily. Like, I'm not ignoring that. You know? It's just our laggard, so it's going to take probably a really long time for us to get that. But yeah, the daily and weekly are usually, that's where you're going to see really massive differences between the indices or even like currencies as well. Steven, I don't even know who that is. Made 13 M's from the last 3 trading days. Nice. Does he live? Does he stream? Like, does he show you like, oh, I'm entering now and all that, or does he just say that he made that much? Honest question, because I don't even know who that is. Because I know there are really, really massive traders out there that do shit like that. Like, I know they exist, but a lot of them that do, you're not gonna like meet them. Like, you're not gonna know who they are because they don't want to be known. Most people who have wealth like that in the multi-millions, like multi-millions, a lot of them don't want to be known. They don't want to be celebrities and known on the internet and all that. They don't want that. So I'm just asking because I literally I don't know who that is. Matter of fact, yeah. So now I've just got two. I've got NASDAQ up here with you guys, and my other screen has the S&P. And that's what I'll be watching. Actually, I'm going to watch on the light screen, though. I don't like the other dark one. The night one. So we'll be here until, I guess, probably the end of the hour. We'll see what we do here. I might not cut it short today. I may or may not. But we will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern. I know that for a fact. I will be. Unless something prevents me from being here in 4 hours from now, I plan on being here. And we'll review a lot more things. But since since it's a live market, I want to try and watch things with you guys to analyze intraday price movements. Make sense? Let me just check SPY as well. Because I think SPY did also print those same lows. It's like one or two ticks lower on the ETF. So that's junk. I'm just looking at one more thing. On the daily time frame for the triple Qs, it's filling like a long-term gap in a way. Not completely, but it is within that. What do we say? This was a 1 to 3, right? Yeah, barely. But again, that is a tight stop. Not trade advice, not financial advice. All right. Probably gonna play some Counter Strike once the market is over, or once the stock exchange is closed. I'm probably gonna hop on Counter Strike. I would stream that, but I don't think you guys like Counter Strike, so it's cool. Go have fun, you know. We have our first 15-minute candle of the last hour. So now we're going to get into the heart of the final hour. We're pretty much down to 45 minutes, almost 45 minutes left in the stock exchange. So we'll see. Sharif, I'm not telling you to take the trade. So you don't have to let me know if you're taking it or not. Because I'm telling you not to take that. That this is not a trade recommendation. But you do what you want, okay? Shorted ES at 9:30, 15-minute candle. High when it entered hourly candle, volume imbalance, and it showed SMT with NQ. Makes sense. What is that? Shawanda, what is what? Because I don't remember what we were talking about just a second ago. Took short on the oil and missed gold due to not sure on gold. I'm not sure what your question is in there. Oh, Shawanda, Counter Strike. It's a video game. It's a video game. It's terrorists versus counter terrorists. It's like a 5 or maybe like 6-on-6 or 8 versus 8 on a map, and you shoot each other. So it's hard to explain. I mean, it's on YouTube. Counter Strike as a game been around for a long time. I think it's been around like 20 or 30 years. It's a really, really old game, but there's a couple different versions, and then they either recently or are just about to release Counter-Strike 2. And a lot of the old gamers are coming back to play that. Like, you probably don't know Shroud or Summit 1G, but like Summit came back to play, and it's fun watching pros play. Because when I watch pros play, you know, I look at what they do and how they do it, and then I get better at the game. So then I go and play the game and I fucking smack people around, and it's so fun. So yeah, I mean, I could actually teach you quite a few things about Counter-Strike. There's like the warm-up maps. I have a couple workshop maps, so I'll warm up against some bots, and then once I'm warmed up, probably like 5-10 minutes, then I go into like casual games. And yeah, as long as you don't get like a bad team, then it's really fun. So while we're watching this, I'll tell you, if you play as terrorists, they have you get an AK-47 as one of the rifles, and it's a one-shot headshot. So like when I use the AK, I concentrate really hard, and all I do is one tap people. So I'll just turn the corner, and that's it, and it's fun. Unless you miss, then you're fucked. But it's a fun game. I like it. It's really hilarious too, like when you play with friends and stuff. So yeah. Man, the S&P has not moved that much this last hour. Nothing. The Dow 1 minute micros. Oh my God. It looks so bad. There are so many gaps today. It's terrible. Terrible. Are we even on the right contract at this point? Like, holy shit. That looks so bad. Oh, someone asked about Bang Energy, I think. Who asked that? Allie asked about my energy drink. I drank that earlier. All I have is an ice now. And it wasn't a Bang, it was a Rain. Sometimes I get them off of Amazon. What happened is sometime, it was either at the beginning of this year or late last year, Bang Energy was sued by Monster and they fucking lost. So Bang Energy, they lost like a $200 million lawsuit to Monster. So I saw that and I went, okay, that's not that big of a deal. However, if they increase the price to cover, you know, like to pay for the lawsuit, I'm going to be fucking mad. Because I don't want to have to support the lawsuit that your dumbass lost. So Monster sued them. Dude, you should look it up. Go read some articles about it. Apparently Bang made like a lot of false claims. A lot of false claims about either Monster or about like what Bang Energy can do. Like maybe certain health benefits that weren't true, and they probably talked a lot of shit about Monster Energy or whatever. So yeah, they ended up losing big time. It was for like 200 or 200 and something million dollars. Like they got bodied. So anyway, the point of the story is I said, okay, well, as long as the price doesn't go up. And it was like a month, maybe 2 months later, Bang at Kroger stopped being on sale. They stopped being 2 for $4. They went to $2.50. I was like, son of a bitch. You know? Because like me, I don't care about the 50 cents extra. Like, that's not big of a deal. But the deal is I don't want to pay for a lawsuit that you lost. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I get Rain as well. Because I got to have 300 milligrams. I got to wake up and I got to drink 300 milligrams. I need to feel like Leonidas from the 300, bro. You know? I need to wake up. That's how I wake up. But what I don't do is drink multiple. I did that in the Navy. And that was bad. That was really bad for my health. So the S&P is in the same, excuse me, not the same. It's in a similar spot as the NASDAQ. It's hitting that same imbalance, that same down candle in the 5-minute time frame. So this, I think, is going to be the deciding imbalance. Either it turns from here and goes higher, or they both break through the current imbalance and trade lower. And it is hard to say, but I guess if I had to pick a side, I'd probably be bullish NASDAQ. But if I longed the S&P here, I would feel like an absolute goober. If it ran to the equal lows and stopped me out, I would feel like a dum-dum. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, damn, John. You told people you don't short or you don't long when there's equal lows. And then you longed with equal lows and got stopped out. You know what I mean? Like, how would that make me look? It would make me look like a goober. Like a goofy goober. That's not what I want. That's not what I want at all. Oh, that was juicy. Let's see if this pans out. Let's see if this pans out. So it's 2:23. That means we have about 36 minutes and some change. Nice up candle as of right now. I mean, not nice, but that was a bearish candle at one point. And it looks okay. Oh, was that the 2 minute? Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Bro claimed, or Bang claimed they can reverse mental retardation. Oh my God. That's crazy. Should have stocked up. I should have. Actually, I did to an extent. To an extent. Any check on products in America, good or bad for health? I mean, pretty much everything in America is bad for you. You know what I mean? Especially anyone from California or New York. They're terrible. In certain parts of Florida. You know what I mean? So, you know, if they ever get back to building that wall again, I'm fucking with you. Be like, go ahead and build that bitch around Cali too. Be like, block them the fuck out of here. Get them out of here. So, you know, that idea is starting to look pretty solid. Starting to look pretty solid. What we need to see, we have 34, 35 minutes left. What we need to see is a schmack above that. And we need to see strong up candles, maybe a little downside, but majority should be upside. So we should see large up candles, small down candles. If we don't get that, that may not be good. But it does look good so far. But it does look good so far. But we're not done. We're not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet. So be patient. Patient with winners and impatient with losers. So about 2.5 minutes until this candle closes. We'll see what takes place. We will see what takes place, but no rush. I wish I could share the music though. I'm fucking vibing right now. Good vibes. But you know, copyright and all that. They won't let me do it. They won't let me do it. So, I'll talk to you for a minute. The call that I did last night, the Smart Money Stoics Part 3, I ended up recording that whole thing, and I edited the video a little bit. I think I shaved off maybe like 10 minutes. I will look to post that maybe today or tomorrow. I cut out a couple minutes here and there, and some long-term, like 20, 30 seconds of me trying to like figure out how to OBS. Like I cut stuff like that out. So I will post a recording. I think it's a little over an hour. But yeah, last night was dope. I think there was a lot of good information presented last night. So I'm watching Nasdaq here. I'm watching the S&P as well. So they both again have given a decent reaction from there, but neither one has made a new high just yet. I mean, I don't want to say yet, acting like it needs, like it's going to. I'm not going to say that, but I mean, like, we need to run away from this imbalance if we're going to end up smacking the highs. Unless the S&P says, you know, nah, and then run for the lows. So let's say we do go higher. 41.30 and a quarter, that's still going to be in my chart because those are equal lows. And that's seen on a 5, it's seen on a 15. So that may be important for later on. If not today, probably later on. Okay. So not a very strong candle on the S&P here. I mean, it didn't even close bullishly. It closed like where it opened. The Nasdaq, I mean, it printed an up candle, but nothing wildly bullish. So we came right up to this high, like just fell short of it. So this is our 30-minute candle now. So this is the opening of a 30-minute candle. I think there's some gaps there on the micro S&P as well. At least on like a 1-minute time frame. I wouldn't be too concerned with that though. I don't want to like overthink it or overmanage what price is doing. You don't want to be a goofball. I mean, you don't want to try to be. Sometimes you're a goofball and sometimes you're not. Seen on the hourly as well. Well, I'm trying not to watch it on a 1-minute, but the 5-minute, there's this down candle here. So like I would be more concerned with that than I would be with the 1-minute. Like my concern would be there. So my concern is, what do we do here? You know what I mean? But I'm not trying to call every little tick fluctuation here. I don't want to do that. I just want to see the overall, like, do we get what we were looking for? And it's either a yes or a no. But either way, in 20-25 minutes, either way, we're going to shut it down and have a beautiful afternoon and evening, or morning if it's morning for you. So if we are bullish, the down candles right now is showing a reaction. From here, we would need to see upside. I wouldn't want to see us trade lower or even consolidate. I wouldn't want that. I would need to see a movement. You know what I mean? But 30-minute candle, we want to allow it some breathing room. You don't just want to fucking jam your stop 2 ticks below current price. That's not usually what you want to do. But the hypothetical entry that we drew here that happens to be below this down candle, which to me is pretty good defense because you got that candle here defending against where price is at, right? Because price is reluctant to go lower. It hit that down candle and it's bouncing off of it. So if you're in a long position, hypothetically, that's a pretty good thing. See what the fucking S&P is doing. Oof. It's rough. Rough S&P. Gross. Anyway, what did you say? Are you still with IM and trading? Trading house. It would be Trade House one. But I don't know, man. I don't even know anymore. I do not know. But what I do know is I wouldn't want to see price come back to the entry here. I wouldn't want that. Know what I'm saying? But again, I don't control price. I don't tell it what to do. I just try to see what it wants to do. And that's about all you can do. Is the Dow continuing lower, bruh? Let me take a look at that real quick over here. Yeah, Dow is right back near the low of the day again. Good graciousness. What's going on over with the Dow? Let me take a look at their stocks real quick. Oh yeah, they're bloody. Nike down 2.4, Amgen down 2.4, 3M down 2.2, Chevron down 2%, Dow Inc. down 1.9, Home Depot down 1.8, Disney down 1.7, Caterpillar down 1.7, Verizon down 1.5, Intel, United Health Group, and Walmart all down over 1%. The only stock that's up today is Microsoft. It's at 1.2%, but Microsoft is part of the NASDAQ as well. So, are you really surprised? But yeah, it's a bloodbath over in the Dow Jones. The S&P trading, just similar to NASDAQ, meaning in terms of it's getting close back to that imbalance again. So again, neither one of them made a new high here. Neither one of them made a new high. 22, maybe 23 minutes left in the day. Let's see where this 5-minute candle closes here on both. Let's see what we do here. Dollar pushing higher? Yeah, that's probably problematic for the indices as well. Elvis. That could definitely be a factor as well. But the entire basis for this was a run on stops. So it's at the lower end of that down candle. That's not usually what you want to see. Right? Because it respected this one, but it hasn't respected this one. I mean, at least like in terms of reaction, like the last one we got, it's kind of like in here, it's at the lower end. That's not usually good for longs. The S&P actually went back into that same 5-minute imbalance. So yeah, it started to look good, but we haven't made a new high. We have 20 minutes left. So we have 4 more 5-minute candles. Right? Yeah. We have 4 more 5-minute candles that'll print for both. You know what? I'm going to see if there's any earnings today. Let me see. I can't read this. I don't think so. Well, it was Home Depot, but that looks pre-market. I don't see any big names for today after market. So maybe not. So it's spending a lot of time here in that down candle. It's spending a lot of time not going higher, is what I'm telling you. Damn, I think my computer froze again too. Okay, so this is not what you want to see if you're in a long position. Because I feel like someone trying to go long, like let's say on the S&P, for example, if they're trying to go long, they're looking at that 4130 level like it's demand, right? And that would be problematic. The 15-minute candle is also going to close here in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And that 15-minute time frame today for the S&P looks horrendous. The S&P is right at the lower end of that imbalance. It only has to go three points to meet the lows. So it'd be like maybe 4 or 5 to actually go below the lows if it's going to do that. No partials taken, but break even out of market, no losses. Well, yeah, we didn't make a new high. We came down and spent a lot of time in there. And now it's back at this hypothetical entry. So yeah, if I was in on this, I would get out here at a break even. Or what likely would have happened is I would have broken even on the way lower, and I wouldn't be worried about it right now. Because what did we talk about? We talked about we should see strong up candles and very small, down candles, and we should start running for this, but we didn't get that. Again, decent reaction, but now it's back within that. S&P has lows, and as mentioned, the S&P going lower could drag down the NASDAQ because the Dow's already weak as well. So they could be dragged along. So that 15-minute candle's fixing to close. See what time it is? At the 45. So this is your last 15-minute candle of the stock exchange. Okay, so now it's below the imbalance now. Again, if you're long, it's not what you want to see. And I want to pull up the S&P as well. So it's at 32. It only has to go two points to take 41.30 and a quarter. Sharp movement there on the S&P. Just as well as NASDAQ. See now it's printing small up candles and large down candles. It's not what you want. We're going to take all of this off. We never got that high here. Or higher high, rather. Never got it. See? 41.30s. The equal lows there. Although it is a little hard to see the opportunities there in this hour. For shorts, at least. Because we came up slightly higher, broke down, rallied, broke down, rallied, but then we created highs here, and now we've broken down. Like it looks like it wants to go to the 30s. So then, but what's the play there? I mean, dude, there's only 13 minutes left in a day. So what's the entry, stop, and target for a 1 to 3 when there's only 12 minutes left? What are you supposed to do with that? We'll just watch it on a 5-minute. We could still see a bullish move. I mean, maybe. That is possible. So when this candle closes, we'll have 2 more candles, and then that'll be a wrap. Oh, we didn't even put an alert there. We didn't even put an alert there. But there's 30 3/4, so it only needs 2 ticks to get there. One tick. One tick away. Well, it was. There it is. There's your 41.30 and a quarter. Oh, we did have an alert there. On which one? Was it ES or micro? It don't even fucking tell me. I didn't look at it at least. Or was that NASDAQ? Oh no, it wasn't. But there's that 1035 low. Boom. Very, very interesting day. But now do you see? Now do you see why we look at the indices together? Because if you looked at the NASDAQ, right? To me, that was a decent opportunity on the NASDAQ by itself, right? Little short-term low ran, right? But I told you what we do. What did we not do? We didn't run this low. I would have wanted to see that, but we didn't. This imbalance and down candle is a good setup, and it's at the right time, but it's not with the right context, right? If you were here the whole time, because I know the viewership fluctuates, but if you were here the whole time, we talked about how that's a problem. If the S&P runs for these lows, it will drag down the NASDAQ. What happened to the NASDAQ? It got dragged down. So do you see how we did that? Well, shit, I guess we should have shorted the imbalance then. I guess we should have. But it closed above it there, so it is what it is. So, again, neither one of them made a new high. So I don't think either one ran stops before going lower. And that's okay. But, hey. Hopefully you learned something today. So, what did you learn? What did you learn today? Chat. Let me know before I tell you. What lesson did you learn today? Or, well, there was a lot, actually, more than one, but tell me at least one thing you learned today. And then I'll tell you in closing. And yeah, that dollar was rallying here a little bit too. I mean, not a lot, but to some degree. So I don't think we're going to go all the way down there, but there is some lows for the NASDAQ there too. That's a long shot for today, but it is on the table. Maybe at some point. But what did you learn today? Relative strength. Don't be a goober. All right. All right, Shawanda. Imbalance. Don't force trades. Right. Right. I would say you even learned a little bit about trade management. Right? Because we got a reaction, but those candles printing didn't print how we expected. So you might have a short-term turning point, but if it doesn't continue your direction at the time, you might be wrong, right? So now you know without a shadow of a doubt that anyone who says to take a trade and walk away, they don't know the whole story. They're not entirely informed. You just learned a little bit of trade management. Take a trade and walk away. Take a full loss when you could have taken a break even. So you learned a little bit about that. You also learned to qualify or disqualify certain candle like entry techniques, right? Because your entry technique might be the down candle at a 618 or the imbalanced down candle. That's okay. But why didn't that work? The NASDAQ doesn't have equal lows. So why didn't it work? Because I told you, the S&P has equal lows. The Dow is already weak. So when you have two of the indices going lower, the NASDAQ may be dragged with it. So would you want to long something that has a potential to trade lower? What did I also tell you? Look where that long idea was. From today's low up to the equal highs that we expected, potentially, your long is at like maybe a 25% retracement. Is that buying low, selling high? No. Not really. That idea could have worked, but it didn't. Okay? So let me tell you this, and then we'll hop off here. You can do this same thing, but with like euro and British pound. I explained that earlier to you guys as well. I know we've been here for 3 hours, so some of you probably hopped on or hop off or whatever. But remember earlier I said that this 1 hour imbalance was not a buy on euro, even though it took stops, right? This imbalance, it didn't hold. It got pushed through. Why? I told you yesterday, British pound has equal lows. So if British pound is going to trade lower, then it may drag euro with it. Okay? People sleep on relative strength because it doesn't make sense or they don't get it. I know it's fucking hard. It is. But I'm trying to explain it to you as simply as I can. Because these are not ideas that I'm just randomly pulling out of my ass and telling you about. Okay? Why should price do this? Why should price do that? Look at that. Dow is just continuing to trade lower. Yikes. S&P even continuing as I was explaining that. Lower and lower and lower. NASDAQ lower. So I guess shorts finally did get their they did get their lunch in the afternoon. But at least you're able to help filter or help qualify potential trade ideas. Don't take long trades above equal lows. Exactly. That's my point. Right? That was in the top 10 smart money trading rules from like 3 weeks ago. You don't long when there's equal lows. Why not? Because of this. All right. So we've been here for 3 hours. Okay. There was a lot we discussed. There was a lot that we watched. I know a lot of it was probably boring when price wasn't doing anything. But at least the final hour, it did give us some volatility. It just, to me, I don't see where we could have shorted personally, unless it was that at 247 just before the lows were ran. So, I mean, I guess you could say that was probably it. But I'm fine with letting that go. I'm okay with that. So, we're on at 1 p.m. EST tomorrow? Yeah. We'll be here again tonight. It's at in 3 hours, so at 7 p.m. EST. And then yeah, I need to change the schedule on the channel page. I need to change it. I might make a new one. But yeah, it's going to be 12 Central, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, we'll keep the schedule flat. And whatever updates that I have or that I get, if I fucking get any, I'll let you guys know. I know you guys have questions. I don't have the answers, okay? So, all right. Y'all be blessed. Be good. I'll see you in 3 hours from now.